It is Wednesday, May 21st, and President Trump bringing a TV into the Oval Office, playing the evidence of what he calls white genocide for the world to see, playing it for South Africa's president in their meeting today, for the American media, for South African media. Trump going complete beast mode. We're going to show you also more late reporting by Jake Tapper and CNN, deciding this morning to come clean about everything they knew that was happening with Joe and Hunter, but choosing to ignore and cover up for years. Wait till you see what they're admitting to now. Just unbelievable. And more stories as well from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. So in 1994, that was the year apartheid officially ended in South Africa. They had elections. Nelson Mandela won. His African National Congress won. Mandela being inaugurated in May of 94. Well, fast forward 24 years during Trump's first term in office, coincidentally the same time he was meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin at that famous or infamous Helsinki meeting, where the press went on for weeks about Trump choosing to believe Putin over his own intel agencies. Remember that? Well, during that meeting, another foreign trip was taking place between former President Barack Obama and South Africa's President Ramaphosa, the same president that Trump met with this morning. Obama, at the time, traveling to South Africa in the middle of this Helsinki meeting between Trump and Putin and delivering a speech standing next to Ramaphosa, beginning his speech by thanking him for bringing, quote, inspiring new hope in this great country. Now, at the time, nobody in corporate media reported on this. They were all too busy with Trump in Helsinki, didn't report on what Obama said, why he was there, who he was praising. Nobody talked about it. But they should have, because Obama gave that speech praising President Ramaphosa for inspiring new hope only months after Ramaphosa declared he was going to change the South African Constitution, doing it for the implicit purpose of seizing people's private property, seizing it to return to the people of South Africa. Obama knew this at the time. An American president, a former American president, praising someone for seizing private lands, never asked about it, never asked why he supported this, why he was there in the first place. Well, years later, it happened. Ramaphosa did exactly that, exactly what Obama was praising, passing a new law called the Expropriation Act of 2024, 6 years in the making, a law that permits the state to expropriate private property for public purposes, including in cases where the state owes the landholder no compensation at all for said land. They just take your private property if they deem it just and equitable. Sounds very similar to what the Squad or AOC would promote in this country. This is real. That law is real, and it's causing chaos in South Africa. Farmers who happen to be predominantly white dealing with this, white landowners being murdered, assaulted, robbed. These cases are all documented. The press chooses to ignore them. Why they ignore them, I have no idea. But they do. They claim it's conspiracy. Well, that ended today in a brutal way. President Trump forcing the world to face and report on what's really happening in South Africa. Meeting with South African President Ramaphosa in the Oval Office this morning, wheeling a TV into the meeting in front of the press corps, in front of the South African delegation, playing this 5-minute long video showing and documenting what Trump calls the genocide happening in that country, leaving President Ramaphosa completely stunned into silence. This was just remarkable. Roll the tape.
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's, for him, no, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me,
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here, when we have talks between us on the around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say
President
that
Trump.
we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories. And that, is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure,
We
we
have,
will.
let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. Yeah. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. We don't care what you do. We can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament. Honorable. Yes, honorable member.
Must never be scared to kill a revolution.
Corporate media, of course, trying their hardest to change the topic, asking questions after Trump finished playing the video about everything except for the giant elephant in the room, the topic that Trump just played in front of everyone, the video he just played, asking about the Qatari jet, asking about anything else except for the genocide Trump talks about. Well, finally, one of the independent reporters asks a real question, asking Ramaphosa directly if you denounce that type of language in the video, and Trump doubling down, asking Ramaphosa himself, why haven't you said anything about it? Why aren't you trying to stop it?
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh yes, we've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
Well, why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying, kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia. They're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And their farm is valueless. It's valueless. And they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation.
CNN, of course, wasting no time in trying to debunk all of this. What we all just watched with our own eyes and ears, reporting that all of this has already been debunked. What's been debunked? The leader of the uber left-wing party over there, the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, he's on video saying all of this. We heard him say it. How is that debunked? Watch.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush that President Trump laid out with video, with printed out news stories. This was a laundry list of debunked conspiracy theories. Some South Africans are telling me this is AfriForum propaganda. AfriForum is a white Afrikaner lobby group that's considered a white nationalist organization by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Everything, almost everything that President Trump said in the Oval Office is not true, was inaccurate, has been repeatedly debunked.
You can debate if there's an actual genocide happening in South Africa, but you can't debate what the leader of the EFF party is saying. He's saying it on camera. It's as clear as day. Why corporate media is trying to run cover for this, for him, is just baffling. In another story, Jake Tapper coming out and reporting the truth for once on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden over the last few weeks, all in an effort to pitch and sell his new book. Jake Tapper choosing to ignore all of this for years while Biden was actually in power, in office, or while he was running for president, thinking he can now report on it after the fact, while right-wing media and independent media was reporting on this for years, thinking this helps him, I don't know, save face or something. Well, yesterday, he not only got spanked by Megyn Kelly, but now coming out and calling Hunter Biden what everyone knows, sleazy, unethical, saying he got his brother addicted, or his brother's widow rather, addicted to crack, all of which everyone knew. All of which was reported on for years by everyone but Jake Tapper. Too little, too late, Jake. Watch what he said this morning.
How big a factor was the Hunter stuff?
I think it was considerable. I think Hunter was driving the decision making for the family in a way that he was almost like a chief of staff of the family.
Does that strike you as pretty bizarre?
It's bizarre because I think he is provably, demonstrably unethical, sleazy, and prone to horrible decisions. I mean,
tell me how you really feel.
Well, I mean, I just look at the record. I mean, after his brother died, he cheated on his wife with his brother's widow and then got her addicted to crack. That's just one thing I could say. I mean, I don't have a lot of personal regard for him, and just based on having nothing to do with, I barely have ever met him. I've met him like once or twice, but I knew Bo. Bo was a great, upstanding guy.
I knew him too. Really,
a real loss for the country too, not just for his family, for the country. But Hunter is not that, and the idea of letting him drive the family car, as it were, is just really, really questionable.
Even his network, CNN, suddenly jumping on the Biden story, reporting Biden spent millions of dollars producing a fake town hall and was so incoherent during it, he couldn't even use the content from it for his campaign. Again, all that's missing here is just a full-fledged apology from CNN and from MSNBC and all the other corporate media networks who were covering all of this up. All of us know all of this. We don't need to hear you report it. We need you to apologize and not do it again. Watch.
And Alex, the fact of the fake town hall is not actually the worst part of the story that you report in the book.
Yes, other campaigns have used fake town halls. Now, I would say those town halls usually are in addition to real town halls. Joe Biden was doing neither. This fake town hall was in order to film it so they could make it into campaign commercials. They filmed it in Delaware with supporters. But Joe Biden, at this point, this is the spring of 2024, Joe Biden's town hall, which was closed to press, was so bad that campaign officials determined that it was not usable for a campaign commercial. So they took 90 minutes, 2 hours out of the president's day. They filmed an entire town hall, and they determined that it was not usable. Now, some people say this was because Joe Biden was incoherent. He could not really articulate his thoughts in a pithy or even semi-normal way. Some people just said, like, the lighting was bad. That was sort of the 2 points of view. But the point is, it shows how what the campaign's status was in the spring of 2024 when they were trying to, deal with a candidate that wasn't a decline.
Wait, someone told you the lighting was bad?
That's one of the excuses.
You're saying that they spent millions of dollars to stage a town hall? Well, we didn't get the lighting right.
That was one of the excuses.
I mean,
unbelievable.
And this comes back to the question of how many people were aware of things like that but said nothing?
And if you didn't see Megyn Kelly's interview with Jake Tapper yesterday, it's worth watching. We played the good parts in yesterday's video in case you missed it. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.